No cheese. Okay, I'm here. It's been a long time. I don't think I've been live in quite a while. Um, can you guys hear me? This is gonna be real sketchy because I normally would move around to go live because of the internet connection at my house. It's not that stable here. But since I've been kind of isolating myself for the last month or two, I didn't really want to go out for that purpose. So we're going to try. We'll see what we can do with the connection here today. Um, it's not been easy to get myself fixed up to come on live. Since they said the word coronavirus, everybody in my family then had a cough. So I've been going through a lot, just trying to take care of the people in my immediate environment, and I couldn't even really get to the wider group of people in the last month or so. So I wanted to come on today to discuss, some stuff related to that. I also wanted to do just a small tribute, of sorts to my teacher, Dr. Africa, who passed is on his way to the ancestral realm as we speak. So I had to, find my way here somehow. And then for those who are interested in how things are going in terms of what's happening in Ghana, given the pandemic, I wanted to give my report on that as well. I don't even know where to start. Let's start with Dr. Africa, because I do find it interesting that he chose this time to make his transition. Him, along with another very well-known healer from South Africa, within the same week of each other. And I could be wrong, but I find it significant that they chose this particular time to make their exit from this realm. Almost like, like Hodor in the Game of Thrones. They came with a specific purpose. And from my vantage, that purpose was to teach and to leave us with enough good sense to make the next step that we need to make to ensure, our life and the lives of our families going forward. And I take that very serious. And as one of Dr. Africa's students who was privileged to sit in his classes and be, he said we could use ND or doctor on our name. It's he who granted, his students with the knowledge, the confidence, and just everything that we needed in order to even say those words or to put that descriptor on our name. I've never chosen to do that. Still thinking about that, especially given the fact that his wife, transferred that message that he expects his students to step up. And that really resonated with me, especially right now. Where are we as a healing community? A lot of us are out here being condescending. I'm sorry to say, condescending as fuck. I've been warning y'all. I got a lot of beans stored up. I got solar panels. Okay, that's great for you. Okay, but this is not the time to brag about how well prepared you are. The only thing I want to hear is, do you have enough left over to help somebody else? That's the story right there. We all can just drop down into our struggles and what we can do individually and how we can overcome individually or not. But it's something to be said for the Dr. Africas of the world who stepped outside of themselves, of their families, of their comfort zones to try to bring us something to help us and to guide us and to give us direction in a world world that clearly is going to hell in a handbasket. So you're not doing anything for me by bragging about how well established your immune system is and how your diet is clean as a whistle and you're so perfect no disease can ever touch you and blah blah blah. I'm sure that's not it's not helpful. Let me say it, is that's the most positive thing that I could say about it. What made me go to Ghana? Shit, America made me go to Ghana. Should you get tired of all that bullshit going on over there? Cause I know I did. And it's drama and challenges everywhere in the world. But come on, man, you ain't gonna have nobody in the hospital telling you, die, blackie, die. Just get out of here. Get out. You're using resources we could use for white people. No, you're not gonna hear that in Ghana. Okay. The first thing they did was close the schools to protect their youth. They treat youth like it's something important. So no, it's just a huge difference. And I could talk all day long about the difference between hearing Ghana and America, but you look at some of my other videos, I do talk about it a lot. So with that said, Dr. Africa, I feel even if his wife never said one word, I feel the timing of his transition told us everything that it needed to say. Hey, y'all deal with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You deal with the epic pandemic. I've gave you what I had, and I'm tired, and I'm out of here. And my question to myself was, okay, Cicely, how do you take that? So this is not the first medical or health crisis that I have had to deal with personally, but I did put my feelers out there in the healing community for doing a conference and perhaps an African Healers Association some time ago, at least maybe 2 years ago. I did that. Having lost a husband and a mom and a host of aunts and uncles to cancer myself, I felt like I was in living hell. And if the healing community can't help us when we're in living hell, then it's no good. So I don't point any fingers, except the ones that I'm pointing at myself. When are we going to step up and get another level of organization? And I'm talking about a level of organization that can work in tandem with the wartime medicine, aka allopathic medicine, if necessary. All the herbs in the world don't help you when your brain is swelling up from a gunshot wound. So allopathic medicine has its place. All the herbs in the world doesn't help you when your organs have been punctured because of a car accident, and they need to be sewn up, and you know what I'm saying. Allopathic medicine has its place. Herbal medicine also has its place. But my issue with the healing community, the African healing community, is that where is our organization? I have literally come not to blows, but got into words with other healers about the mere mention that we should be more cohesive, more organized, more accessible to our people. And one person in particular took that as an affront against his pricing mechanism. Hey, if the shoe fits, wear it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't think none of us got into healing because of money. I can't think of why that would have ever occurred to anyone in the African community that was something you could just become rich off of. So if you're rich off of it, I mean, good for you. Are the rest of us doing something wrong? We won't know unless you come to the table and we sit down and talk about it as healers. Okay, so we need to get our heads out our ass on this shit. Where was the directives coming from the healing community when Corona first came out? in January, February, March, where is our mechanisms and our, how to recognize the signs of stroke and cancer? Why was I the last to know that, unrelenting fever could be the sign of a tumor growing in your body? You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is ridiculous. Some of this stuff should be as simple as stop, drop, and roll, but because we're not organized to get that information out, our people suffer for lack of knowledge. Our people perish for lack of knowledge. And guess what? We are people too. So my family is also suffering, and my people around me in my immediate environment are also suffering because of this lack of knowledge. So I'm putting it out there, and I'll be reaching out to the people I know. And to those I don't know, if you consider yourself a healer, this is time for us to convene. So I'm going to be calling for us to get together by some online mechanism within this next week or so. And then we can, make our plans from there. But the time is now. The call is on us. The ancestors and the soon-to-be ancestors have made their exit the most dramatic time that we could ever imagine. And I know that was for a reason. And that reason was for us to wake up and apply our skills and stop acting a fool out here, with all this disorganized, bad service, inaccessibility, condescending attitude. At the end of the day, you can have a clean diet, okay, and you can have a clean mind, but you're living in a filthy world and a filthy environment, and it can impact your health regardless of what you do as an individual. So stop it with all the blame game. Stop it with trying to tell people, oh, if you had a right attitude you can't get cancer. You sound like an idiot. You sound like a nut. You know what I'm saying? And if you're really interested in the aspect of just the name healer, then condescending, talking down to people, insulting people, and just being judgmental is not helpful at all. Dr. Africa didn't never teach us to be condescending and judgmental. In fact, I remember for one story I'll share with you about an interaction I had with Dr. Africa. I was telling him that, you come to town and you always teaching about diabetes and hypertension, but we already got that lesson. So can we move on to the harder subjects like cancer? Because that's what I was trying to deal with at the time. And as an advanced student, I'm like, why should we always have to listen to this same old spiel from people who did not read your books, do not listen to your lectures, and do not do their due diligence? And Dr. Africa he kind of gave me that whole, hey, I gotta meet the people where they at, and that's my job. So maybe it's for somebody else to do that advanced lesson, okay? But all our advanced teachers are out here being condescending. I had one teacher, as soon as I started promoting fermentation, and fermentation does include wine and beer and other alcoholic drinks, they started posting all this stuff about alcohol is bad and all this stuff, and I'm not into those blanket statements like that. Alcohol exists for a reason. If God gave us marijuana and herb, God also gave us alcohol. He gave us mead, elixir, and they call it nectar of the gods. No healer is going to come and tell me that honey wine is more unhealthy than healthy. And in life, those are our options, because everything has pros and cons, including herbs. So I have a body of expertise that I'm standing on as well. And alcohol was given to man for a reason. Now, when you step outside of that reason and misuse it for the purpose of, whatever, escapism or addiction feeding or self-medicating because of mental illness or whatever, that's a different story. But that's not traditionally the way alcohol is used in African societies. And if we don't get a hold of our mechanisms and why and how and what for we use alcohol, that's how we get lost and caught up. So no healer is about to come and stand before me and make a blanket statement that eating meat is a prescription for death in 2020. I'm in the middle of Africa right now. People been eating meat here, living to 116 years old, doing all the daily activities that more than some of us can do at age 40. So you're, again, you could speak for right now if you're in the middle of America and the meat industry is foul and just is gross, but you can't speak for all people for all times when it comes to diet. You can't speak for all people at all times when it comes to a lot of things. So every healer got to stay in their lane, and I'm definitely not gonna suffer for people stepping on my toes in my lane. So fermentation is my thing. Dealing with families and children and that type of thing. That's my lane. And I'm standing for everything that I have ever promoted, sold, or said in reference to any of those things. So with that said, I'm recommitting myself not to just rail on the healing community, but also to be part of the solution. So I'm definitely I've already put together something, shared it with a few people. Didn't really get much of a great response back from it. I got that whole, if you do all the work, we'll join you. Okay, I'm kind of looking for a different type of different level of partnership in this situation. I'm not looking to boss a bunch of people around, adults. I'm looking for us to want to take responsibility. I'm putting a vision out there for what we could be in terms of just being accessible and organized and effective against today's challenges. I'm putting that out there, and I'm going to get the ball rolling on it, and I'm inviting all healers to at least let's convene and brainstorm together, and we'll lay out the next 1 to 3 steps. And let's get it started, because now is the time. It's one thing for us to talk about healing and even, those highfalutin concepts like Pan-Africanism. But this is the time for it to work, and I had to challenge myself with everything I'm going through with my family. I mean, it's just ridiculous. As soon as they said corona, it's like everybody just started coughing. I was like, so even with that, if what I'm saying on all those other times is really real, it has to be real right now in the middle of a crisis. I have to be able to reach out to my people and say, hey, look, I don't fully understand this situation, but it seems like it's a weapon aiming at us. How can you defend yourself, and how do you take the offensive? Those are the things that I have to also put some time and energy into, besides, spoon feeding my children porridge and, coaching them through, their daily routines to help guard and heal against, nasty viruses or whatever. So I had to challenge myself. I'm not just saying this to you, I'm saying it to me, but I'm also doing it and I'm living it. So I just had to put that out there out of respect to Dr. Africa and the great healers of the world who have came before us to leave us a body of knowledge, the training and the confidence that we need to move forward. I have personally taken some losses, as a healer that have shook me to my core. People that I couldn't save. And I struggle at fully just really saving myself. So that it challenges your confidence, and it shakes you, but I still have to move forward. Even in my imperfection, I have to move forward. And if I look at the whole board, I know that I've also helped a lot of people too. So you take the good and the bad. It all goes together. Like I said, even with herbs, there's pros and cons. The reason why herbs interact in your system is because there's an interaction between what they do that's positive and what they do that's negative. So you take all those aspects into consideration when you take in any substance that's foreign to your body, and that includes plants. So with that said, I can't sit here and play that role like, oh, because I couldn't fully save everybody like Superman, that I'm no longer gonna practice healing arts and I'm gonna give up on everything and blah 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 and just woe is me and just fall out on y'all. I'm not gonna do that. I tried and and that was even more depressing. So I'm not doing that. So with that said, what am I seeing and recommending in terms of the current pandemic? This one's a little different. I did recognize that in January, and honestly, the first thing that stood out to me was the speed and the ease at which this particular virus jumps. I never thought it was a naturally occurring virus. I could be wrong, but either way it goes, we have a job on our hands, because if it was natural, that is almost like a statement that nature has made against man itself. If it was unnatural and a person or a group of people or a government sat down and came up with the idea to create this nasty little virus, that means that we have an open, dangerous enemy in this world, and it's our duty to come against that enemy in an organized and effective fashion to neutralize that enemy. Either way it goes, we all have a job on our hands if we want to live this life in this world. So that being said, I don't subscribe to the notion of conspiracy theories. That's foolishness. And in fact, I did read recently that it was the CIA who coined the phrase conspiracy theory. So as for me, you won't see me parroting CIA phraseology. Not if I can help it. You know what I'm saying? Now that I told you, hopefully you will stop using that phrase too. It's overused, overworked, and ill-applied. So just stop it. Let's stop acting like we don't have enemies in this world. That's very weak, passive-aggressive, and it's not attractive. You know what I'm saying? For the women or the men. That's not attractive at all. And I don't mean just sexually attractive. I mean, like, if you're sitting out here and every time something is difficult or challenging, you start screaming conspiracy theory, where is your will to fight? Where is your will to live? Where's your will to thrive? Why are you just acquiescing to what is like you're a child? You know what I mean? Children go where the wind blows them. But should adults do that? No, you have to stand. And if something comes against you, you have to face it. That's kind of, basic, humanity, okay? Facing challenges. So, with that said, and, again, I'm not perfect. Look, I got a family here. You trying to build Pan-Africanism, and how about can we get along in our families, okay? It's challenging, but we have to face them. We have to be honest with ourselves, even if we lie to everybody else, which I don't know why, but sometimes people feel like they have to do it. Who said they got no notice? You got no notice. I don't know. Good morning, Noreen. Love to you too, Jamel. Good morning. Good evening. Carm, what is this language? Kajarania ya neptet. Say it to you. So, but yeah, I just want to, just really put that out there. I'm recommitting myself. I've already signed up for self-defense training. My son's already training in martial arts, so we talked to the teacher that, man, I'm gonna have to go ahead and drop down and do 2 or 3 of those push-ups too, because I just can't have these men training around me and I'm not training. So that's a personal struggle that I've committed myself to tackle, in addition to getting together with the healing community. And man, we got to put our together, and I'm sure we will come up with a way that we can support ourselves and our people, just to move the ball forward. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Charmaine. Who didn't get one? Y'all didn't get no notice that I was on? I'm sorry. I tried to tag everybody. I don't even know. Uh, yeah, I don't know if my tags even went through that I even put on here. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. You know my communications on this medium is, it leaves a lot to be desired. I need some backup. I thought a lot about how the traditional Chinese medicine practitioners have been able to codify and organize themselves to the extent that Chinese doctors have used traditional medicine alongside allopathic medicine in treatment in their hospital facilities. And we, on the other hand, have the World Health Organization telling us don't use therapeutics. Really, the hospitals can't take us. So we're just supposed to just sit down, suffer, and die. That makes no sense. But it also doesn't make sense that the African healing community is not organized enough to present itself as a workable and viable alternative outside of just getting a bunch of information from a bunch of different places and you're not sure where to go with it. Okay, I'm glad I caught you anyway, Felicia. I'm sorry about that, guys. You know what? Support. It's that simple. Do you think Chinese medical practitioners have somebody carrying their bags for them? I'm sure they do. I have no one carrying bags for me, okay? It's just me. And I'm doing everything all at once, and I need support. If I had support, I could do better and more consistently. So that's one of the things, hopefully, that will come out of us convening as healers. We've got to put some support in place so we can get this work done. If I had support, because I've been reading incessantly and studying incessantly about coronaviruses since January, almost to the extent where I had to kick myself out the house and ban myself from talking to my family about it because I was scaring the crap out of them. So I definitely need a place, definitely need some support on social media and in general. What would I do with it? Read more, study more, write more, and help people more. That's basically it. Ain't no real money in that. But at least, we could get by, pay a few school fees or, something, buy a few oranges or something. But the thing about it is, in the traditional Chinese practitioners world, they have the support and the respect that they need to continue and carry out their work. Like when I go to the Chinese clinic in Chicago, there's about 4 different support staff working with one doctor, whereas when I go to one of the African healers, they're alone and they're literally trying to halfway escape all the people that are calling them because they can't handle all that work by themselves without taxing themselves too heavily. So we have to fix that. If you're not a healer but you have another capacity that you can lend support, maybe you should join us in this reorganization as well. So just anybody who has a penchant or that this message, if it resonates with you, please send me a message. Let me know so that we can convene on an online platform and just get to putting our ideas together about what we can do and how we can support each other. How do our people know how to separate good information and good advice from the rest? That's very important for us right now. I didn't get the Taiwanese video translated, Felicia, but I did get some more information about the strands. I'm not sure if I could talk a lot about the different strands of the current coronavirus, but let's just say not all the same. They're saying they have all the same death rates, but you cannot prove that by me when you look at places like Iran and Italy and Spain, and then you look at places like South Korea and Singapore and Taiwan. So I don't know, a lot of that information still needs to come out. What can we do? What am I doing in the meantime? Trying to take it easy, trying to eat my fruits, vegetables, drink some water. What kind of herbs would I recommend? Very few, if any. If you have access to bitter herbs, obviously, those are never bad. And they would not be bad right now. And in fact, some of the treatments that are showing promise, that haven't been fully studied, but they are showing promise, are related to bitter herbs. And a lot of those herbs, not a lot, but several of those are used to treat malaria here in Africa and other places. So you can never go wrong with bitters. And by bitters, I have a whole video on this. I did it about 2 years ago. Look through my video library. It should say something on there about bitters. But you need to get up on your science with this. When you heard grandma say take the bitter with the sweet, that's what we talking about right now. Ain't no sense in having sweet without bitter, because you just can't, it don't feel as good. But bitter herbs, bitter leaves, they even have lettuce, certain lettuce that's kind of bitter. But you're looking for bitter as much as you can at this point, and that will support you in general. And if it is any support to be had against corona, then great. It will not hurt you, that's for sure. I had normally use elderberry against the flu, but coronavirus is not the flu. And with this cytokine response that people sometimes get, people who are in crisis sometimes are in crisis because their immune system goes into overdrive and literally kills them. So with that being said, I have not really stood on taking elderberry for this particular reason. Honey, okay, I'm going with the things that are never like bad, you know what I'm saying? That are always good, things that you've had around or keep hearing about, and you've been saying to yourself, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna take that. That's something that's resonating with you, saying take me, okay? That's probably gonna be the best advice that you could possibly get. Now, if you've been eating nothing but garbage, then your antenna might be off a little bit. So you have to monitor yourself and just see where you are. But nobody can really tell you, oh, this is good, this is bad, in terms of food, vegetables, and herbs. That's something that you have to kind of develop a feeling for. And if you don't have anybody to work with, maybe I can recommend somebody. If you insist, I can give you some advice too. But I'm generally advising everybody to just, minimize your contact with the public, especially if you have hypertension, diabetes. This is a great time to nurse yourself off of high blood pressure medicine and to bring your pressure down by being away from your job and in a better controlled environment and a better controlled timing for your food and everything. So if that's something you're interested in doing, again, let me know. I can refer you to somebody or to some information that I think is good for that. But yeah, if you're dealing with all these issues, like myself, I have a background. Most children born in Chicago have some kind of respiratory challenge, asthma. If you're dealing with that, you don't want to play around with this virus at all. If you're dealing with any type of chronic illness, this is a rough time, and I realize that. So I really think the main strategy for those people is to just try to take it easy, try to stay up. What's up, Will? Try to just the mental health is very important. Don't feel bad if you feel bad sometimes. People will tell you, what you crying for? The God is good and all the time and all that. Yes, it's true. And you still need to cry sometimes. And some of this shit is worth crying about. Okay? I saw a refrigerated truck backed up to a hospital in Queens. I darn near shed a bucket of tears when I saw it. It's not easy, So especially if you have family, and a lot of people been again condescending, well, that's for people with pre-existing conditions and old people. Don't you have old people in your family? Who in America doesn't have a pre-existing condition? Even if they didn't recognize it yet, what if it comes out when you get this illness? So you can't take it serious, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't take it lightly in that sense, but it's best to, I'm live, so, but you talking though, you want to be on too? This is family, people. So yeah, the main thing is, to take it easy and don't panic. Okay, panic never helps. Denial is not helpful. It's not helpful at all. Panic never helps. Okay, never, as in, and that's a strong word, never. I'm trying to think of one situation where panic is good. If you think of one, let me know, because I can't think of any time that is good. So that's the main thing. Take it easy. Try to keep the interaction between yourself and the public to a minimum at this time. I'm not telling you to do anything I'm not doing. I've had coughs pop up in the last month or so, scared the living daylights out of me. But we gotta face it. When it comes up, you gotta face it, and the sooner the better. I had somebody come on and tell one of my friends, don't tell people not to do breathing exercises. Are you kidding me? That's the main thing you need to do every day, in the morning and at night, if not on the hour. If it's not for the health of your lungs, for your mental health, more oxygen is better, not worse. So please stop. Some of y'all got that false news things on speed dial or something. You got it on like a little shortcut on your keyboard. False news, false news. Be quiet. Breathing is good. Breathe. Hold your breath. Try to get up to 2 minutes. Get bad with it. Get up to 4 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing gonna do anything to hurt you unless you're breathing in some like burning plastic, but other than that, yeah, it's gonna exercise your organs, your diaphragm. It's gonna give your lung strength. I've been doing them religiously for the last couple of months, and I think it's helped me tremendously dealing with coming from pneumonia and asthma problems and dealing with all the stuff that's going on right now. My breathing is a lot better, and at least I can lay flat without my lungs rattling. So breathing exercises are always good. Yes, stay away from people, but don't stay away from the sun, black people. That sun is your friend. It may not be some other people's friends, but it's your friend. So man, go, if you got a back porch or some windows, come on, let the sun shine in. If you can get out alone, not in the smoking section, with a bunch of people standing around coughing on each other, but if you can get out alone or just with the people in your house, at least get some sun on you. 1 hour, 2 hours, y'all ain't got nothing else to do. Okay, that's gonna be like my major recommendations. If you're taking multivitamins, good for you, great, don't stop now. If you work out, good for you, great, don't stop now. If you're not working out, man, I don't know, do some of them chair exercises my grandma used to do. But in either case, those are my major recommendations. And if you get in a pinch where you feel like you're struggling to breathe, you really don't need to get worse before you call. And frankly, being black in America and dealing with a medical apartheid is such a real factor right now. So that's just, I don't want to scare y'all, but what we dealing with, and that it is not always promised that you have an emergency, you call 911 and you're going to be able to get the help that you need. So I'm definitely not feeling those people going around basically trying to put people in social media jail for recommended herbs and alternative therapies. That's ridiculous. And the World Health Organization at this point does not have a leg to stand on with that recommendation, given the fact that most hospitals in countries that have over 5,000 cases can't even handle the number of emergencies that they're being hit with right now. So you can't just tell people to sit around and do nothing. Get up on your science, feel yourself, feel what's resonating with you, and get on top of your own health, and don't leave it to them. So just try to stay out of trouble, because once you get into trouble, man, that's when they need to open up your lungs and drain them, and start putting medicines through alternative places on your body. So don't, just try to stay out of that situation. But other than that, that's the gist of what I wanted to really bring to you today. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be on a lot, like as in like once a week or whatever, because it kind of depends on the connection. It seems like the connection has really been good today, but who knows how it's gonna be later. But we'll see. If possible, I'll come back on and go into depth about the healing conference, African Healers Conference that we'll be convening. And anyway, whatever else you guys want to talk about, if you do want a healer on standby, or somebody you need to get some advice from or something like that, send me a message and I'll try to give you a referral. I know healers from all over the country. Dr. Africa and his former partner, Dr. Akua Gray, through their classes and their training, I've met so many healers throughout the world, let alone especially in the U.S. So I got quite a few people that I could call on, and that I can thank you, Carm, I love you too. That I can call on or refer you to with confidence. So that's another thing. What else? What's going on in Ghana? Like I said, they closed the schools down a couple of weeks ago. They're just not closing like everything else as of tomorrow. So if you looked at my pictures, I love to be on. I'm Naima. I love to be on. I'm always available for you. If you've looked through my pictures, you will see that my mother-in-law sent us a bunch of produce from the market. She said the prices were up. A lot of people were complaining about that, but fair exchange ain't no robbery, in the sense that roads are being made inaccessible, and even though the gas prices are down, it's not easy to get stuff from farms to the city. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that one to the market ladies, and not really ride on them like a lot of people are. They quick to jump on the sisters when they try to make their money, but everybody else like MTN and Vodafone and all these big companies that's run by men get a pass. So I'm not gonna jump on that bandwagon like that. We pay way more than what we usually do, but for the pineapple, the oranges, the papaya, the avocado, the banana, the plantains, you know what I'm saying, it's worth it. And who knows what they had to do to get this stuff to us at this time. I thought I was gonna shelter in the rural country area somewhere, but it wasn't to be. So we're sheltering in here in the middle of Accra. So I will let you guys know how that goes. I talked to our family doctor, and he really reassured me. He was like, as for right now, that's what he told me. As for right now, we can handle the challenge that we have. Now, if it gets outrageous, it's going to be outrageous. But for right now, Ghana can handle the challenges that it has. It's been a few people that have passed from the coronavirus complications, but mostly they're treating people, and we'll see, how that goes. Yes, Mom Naima, please. Yes, anytime. Anytime. Hey, yes, it's real fruit. Man, y'all have no idea. The sisters be coming in my inbox complaining that they can't eat fruit in America, especially once they've been to Africa. When they get home, they realize that what they have been eating was not really real at all. And that's another thing that really gets my goose about the healing community. How can you be condescending and you in America? Your food is plastic. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have a leg to stand on with that. And you want to talk to people about their diet. that's just a real passive aggressive way to handle the fact that someone is trying to kill us and poison our food and just make it less nutritious than what it was naturally intended on being. So with that said, it ain't no high horses for anybody in this battle. And with or without coronavirus, black folks was facing a battle health-wise. So let's just not forget that part, and let's get better organized, and let's just take it from there. Yeah, I know, right? Man, you should have saw how I was eating that orange, Felicia. That was just ignorant. I was just like, oh my God, it's orange everywhere. Yeah, real oranges with big giant seeds in them that's like juicy and sweet, and I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. That's what's going on over here. So far we are feeling good and eating fruit and just letting the time pass us by. So hopefully, I know, right? Hopefully, we'll see what Africa can do with coronavirus. We stay having challenges over here. They just beat Ebola down, no thanks to the World Health Organization and all those other fake organizations. So yeah, if nothing else, thank you guys so much. I'll be back on as soon as I can. I keep saying I was gonna do a cooking from Africa thing, but I ain't got much of a kitchen here, so it's not exactly my idea of a good time. Let me just say that. But we'll see what we can put together since we're in the house the next week. And I'll be back on and give you guys updates as I go along. Okay? Thank you guys so much.